name is Jackie. I'm the summer camp director for Catalina Sea Camp 1-week programs and 2-week programs.
And my name is Paul Buttercup Kupferman, and I am the Catalina Sea Camp director for the 3-week program in Toyon Bay. It's a little bit more crowded today, Jackie.
It is. We've
Who
got
are
a
you?
third P from our pod.
Hi. I have the pleasure of working with these two every day, which is great. I am Diana. I'm the Astrocamp summer director. So I get to spend my summer up in the mountains rather than over at the ocean. But we get to work together and plan our summers together and make sure that we have a seamless program.
Yeah.
And
fun.
you are watching and listening to the Catalina Sea Camp and Astrocamp Breakdown.
Breakdown.
Break it down.
Break it down. Today we're talking about staff. Staffing, like hiring staff. What does that look like?
So hiring counselors, hiring instructors.
Counselors.
We got more than
instructors.
that. We've got photographers, we have nurses, we have office assistants. We do a lot of hiring.
It takes a lot to run a successful summer camp. It does.
Yeah, it takes a village. So today we're going to talk about just a few things, give you some information. Maybe you're a parent and you're sending your kid to one of our camps and you're interested on what that looks like. How do we find our staff? Maybe you're interested in working at a summer camp, Astrocamp or Catalina Sea Camp.
Maybe you have a neighbor whose child goes to college and they're looking for work, and you can pass on information for us.
Please actually do that.
Help us.
Yeah, we need it.
We need it. So the first topic we're going to cover is what kind of staff do we have? What does the staff look like at all of our camps? And I feel like the three of us have similar but different staffs. At Fox Landing Sea Camp, where we run our 1-week programs and our 2-week programs with our younger kids, we have cabin counselors, so counseling staff. We have an instructing staff, and then we have our maintenance and our kitchen staff. Our counselors are typically college age. They are usually in their summer break and they are looking for a summer job, and we bring them out. They have all different types of backgrounds. We're not looking for any specific major, really just anyone that wants to come hang out with kids and likes being in the ocean. Our instructors, on the other hand, all are college graduates. For the most part, they all have some type of STEM degree, whether it's a marine bio degree, an environmental degree, some type of degree where when they come and they teach our labs, they have some background to talk about and teach those things. And then our kitchen and maintenance are very similar all throughout the three. But I know that the Toyon has a very multifaceted staff, right?
Yes. So just like Jackie, we have our counselors. I think with counselors, I'm not looking for that science background. I'm looking for personality. I'm looking to hire mentors, people that will have a true positive impact on the lives of your children. And then we have our instructor staff. Our instructor staff are sailing, diving, and science and adventure.
Yeah.
That is what makes up our instructors. So our divers, we have professional divers. We have divers that are in college. We have divers that some are working at Club Meds all over the country during the year, and they come and they work with us during the summer. Our sailors are typically people who have sailed before, have sailing experience, and have a little bit of experience teaching sailing to kids. They all can be silly, wacky, and weird. We want our sailors to be silly, wacky, and weird. Your campers will never ever know their names. They will have fun names like Sweep or Maverick Missile or things like that. And then we have our science and adventure. Science and adventure is everything from kayak guides to seafood cookery to Dungeons and Dragons to our marine science instructors that are teaching behind the scenes aquariums, about sharks, teaching kids how to build their own saltwater aquariums, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, super cool. Our instructors are very similar, what did you call it? Science and adventure instructors at Toyon for the 3-week program. It's pretty much the same idea for the instructors at Fox Landing for the 1-week and 2-week program. And the same thing for counseling staff for Sea Camp. We're not looking for anyone that isn't a marine science major. It's really for everyone. I was a camp counselor and I was not a marine science major.
Yeah, since we have a guest from Astrocamp,
right.
Diana, tell us about what type of instructor staff you have at Astrocamp?
Yeah, so while you do a lot of like ocean adventure, we focus on like physical science and astronomy. That's our little specialty. But in the summer, we kind of open it up to a lot of different things. So we look for counselors. Those are ones that are going to be in the cabins with the kids, taking care of them on a regular basis, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But our instructor staff have a little bit more specialty in the sciences. But then we also have programs, like we have a ceramics program, and we do, like, they build mugs and bowls, and they get to fire those, and they get to take those home with them. So we need specialists in those kind of things. We do a lot of high ropes, and so the instructors, they might teach a class about that. We also do a lot of fantasy. So you said Dungeons and Dragons. We are experts at Dungeons and Dragons.
And LARPing.
And LARPing. We do some LARPing. So if you're into
What's LARPing?
Oh, it is live action role play.
Yeah.
So imagine capture the flag with foam swords and shields. That's like the best way I can give you that. And then we kind of dive into it more. We'll do a Renaissance fair where we run around and hit people with foam swords. And it's quite fun.
There you go. Who doesn't like hitting people with swords? Yeah.
But we are looking for a wide variety in our instructor staff. We do space nights where like we have astrophysicists that like will teach about the night sky to kids, which is really unique. But our instructing staff is a wide range of skills to be able to do it with our different arts programs. We have a welding program as well. So we're kind of looking for a wide gamut of people.
Yeah. That's a lot of like different positions.
It is. Yeah.
That you can fill. Do you ever like find someone that's applying and they're like, I just want to work at camp. I'm interested in ceramics, but I don't know a lot about ceramics. Would you still bring them on as like a ceramics instructor?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like training needs. So different things that we can do for them when they get to camp, and we can teach them, maybe we'll have a lead in our arts and crafts area, but we have a couple specialty instructors that kind of learn and get those skills built over time. So I definitely think that the important thing is to apply.
Right.
And then we kind of see where their skills are laid. And like we have a lot of astrophysicists that are also amazing at like learning about biology and like do our foraging program and things like that. So it's cool to take everybody's skills and interests and then
or astrophysicists who like to hit people with swords.
That.
Yes.
That's
with that being said, we just talked about all these different types of positions. The question that I am asked most is how do you make sure that you are hiring the right staff for your particular camp?
Yeah. What does that look like?
I mean, the first thing that we do is our staff who will apply will fill out a basic application. From there, both Diana, Jackie, and I utilize a one-way interview system called Spark Hire, where we get to really kind of get a feel for who this person is. Do they have the personality to work with us, etc.? And then from there, we continue to whittle it down to a point where we're then doing one-on-one interviews, where Jackie is interviewing for her program, Diana's interviewing for her program, I interview for my program. So that's already 3 steps. From there, once that we know that we have great people, there's a whole onboarding process that includes a background check.
Reference checks.
Reference checks that also includes drug testing.
Fingerprinting.
Fingerprinting. We go above and beyond to make sure that we have the right staff in our program to influence your children in a positive way.
Yeah.
They have to spend a lot of time. A lot of effort has to go into our staff, like getting through that process. But that's good because their jobs are hard and they're big jobs.
Yeah.
We're entrusting them with your children or just children in general.
Yeah, children in general.
I'm going to be the question person.
Do it.
Another question that I get asked all the time, where do these people come from? Do they just fall out of the sky?
I wish.
I'll say for myself, the majority of the applicants that I get are former campers. I think that every camper that goes to one of our programs thinks that they want to or can work at one of our summer camps. And so the majority come from former campers.
Yeah.
A lot of them, we just talked about this at lunch, come from referrals.
Yeah.
We pay
Friends.
our staff for referrals. So if Diana is a counselor at Catalina Sea Camp and one of her friends that she thinks would be a great counselor applies because she tells them to do so, we then offer referrals because we know our staff knows what it takes to be a good staff member.
Yeah.
And then where else? Where do you guys get your staff?
We get from all over.
Yeah.
I think that we have done Indeed. We have done different job fairs. We've done different college interactions that we've had, and kind of gather our staff as it goes. Jackie just posted about some Instagram.
Me and Patrick.
Yeah.
Producer Patrick?
Producer Patrick.
Another thing that I'm totally having a brain fart. What did I want to say?
okay.
I wanted to say, you can cut this out.
Well, I was going to say that right now I feel like the biggest asset that I'm using and I'm trying to leverage is social media, just spreading the word through our referrals, through our alumni staff. I was saying at lunchtime, last year I hired someone who told me that they found us through an Instagram post that they saw from another person's phone.
Eavesdropper.
So they were like in school and they like saw somebody looking at one of our posts on their phone and they were like, oh, that looks cool. Like, I'm going to look them up, looked us up, applied, and got a job. So I think social media is a huge tool that I like to use.
Another question I get asked by parents is, how old do your staff have to be? Personally, I run a program where the campers go all the way up to 17, as does Diana. And so we require that our staff are at least 2 years older than the youngest camper. And so we require our staff to be at least 19 years of age. We like to have them have 1 year of college under their belt.
Or
but there are
something outside of
Yeah.
college. So maybe they're doing a trade, maybe they're doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some programs that are, from year. Now I'm having more brain farts. What do you call that program where you take a gap year? You can do great gap year programs, wonderful gap year programs. But like Diana said, some people are already going into a trade, and they can give us a summer, and that's totally fine.
I'm a little different because our kids really, I mean, we have for the 2 week up to 15. Most of our campers go up to 14. We will take 18-year-olds. I've hired a few people who have just graduated high school. It's not as common because it's a hard job. And I think there are some, like I've talked to some people who just graduated high school that are like, I would not want to disappear for my last summer before college, because that's essentially what we're asking this staff to do, is kind of go off the grid and work with us.
Boy, that year outside of high school, be it a gap year program or your first year of college, my goodness, the maturity,
it makes a
growth
difference
that we see in people.
Yeah.
We'll have a camper who's a camper when they're 17 and they come back as a staff member when they are 19, and it's like night and day.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the growth that you see.
That's true. I've also hired some really mature, wonderful 18-year-olds. So if you know anyone that's graduating from high school and is looking for a summer job that would be interested in something like this, you can send them my way.
Give them this email right here that producer Patrick is putting right here. Do you see it? Look at, I'm tickling the beginning of it.
Yeah.
It's right there. Don't tickle my email.
I think something that's important for parents, I get the question of, is like they're entrusting their most precious possession, their most precious thing that they have. Yeah.
It's like, what are you?
To us and a staff member who's going to guide them through a lot in 1 week or 2 weeks or even 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what do you train? What do you do? Like, how do you be a safe person? Make sure that this is an environment that's really safe for them. And we take that incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
Like the whole safety component is a structure to our camps. We think about camper safety all of the time, and it starts from our hiring process. So we go from background checks and fingerprinting, making sure that we're having a safe community, and then training them on how to handle all of that. And one of the big things I was telling them about that I really think it's important for families to know is that we are an accredited camp with the American Camp Association. And what that means is that we have to adhere to over 250, I think it's almost like 310 standards now, and a huge section of that
I mean, it's so great.
is staff.
Yeah.
And hiring and background and training and making sure we're creating a community that people know what they're doing and that they're the most equipped to do that. And so Catalina Sea Camp went through their reaccreditation process this past summer and passed with flying colors, which was great. Astrocamp's going through the reaccreditation process this upcoming summer. And also, like, we've been accredited for years, since the beginning, I think. Yeah,
Yes.
since the beginning of time of our programs. So when you're looking for camps, speaking specifically to parents, when you're looking for camps, you want to look for the American Camp Association accreditation label.
Oh, please. Even if this isn't the right camp for you, any camp that you look at, please look for that accreditation seal, because anyone can start a camp. I can go, Paul's Taco Camp down the street, but you don't know who Paul is and who
tacos.
you're like, hey, like tacos.
Who knows where Paul's getting his staff? Nobody's
knows?
checking up on that.
Please make sure that any camp that you look at is ACA accredited. I can't stress that enough.
And ask questions. I love when parents ask questions of like, what does it look like for your training on how to handle like bullying, things like that. We do that. We thought about that because of our standards and because we're just a good camp.
We are.
And we hire great people.
Yeah.
AKA all of us. I'm just kidding. Actually, not kidding. What was the next thing we wanted to talk about? Why? Okay, this is a little bit talking mainly to people who are interested in working in camps, or if you're someone that knows of people. Why should people work at a summer camp, and most importantly, our summer camps?
Yes, a lot of times I will have conversations with potential applicants who say, you know what, I can't do a job at a summer camp this summer. I wish I could. I would love to have a crazy, frivolous summer, but I need to go get an internship. And
I have lots of things.
As someone who did internships, I would say the place that I learned the most transferable skills that I use as an employer, skills that I use as a parent, skills that I use as a friend, as a spouse, are things that I learned at summer camp, from how to actively listen, to how to talk someone down, to how to like problem solve, how to work in a group. All of these are skills that you are gaining while you're working at summer camp. I had a great internship, don't get me wrong. But I got people coffee and I dubbed cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And yes, it got my foot in the door and I had to do it. But to this day, where I learned the most was working at a summer camp.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about internships, and I agree. There are some that are really helpful. And I always, I hear a lot about, I'm going to go study abroad, which I did highly recommend, encourage you to do it, and then come back to camp afterwards. But there are really specific skills. Managing a group of 15-year-old girls will give you so many life skills that you will use in any part of your life. And the problem solving and the figuring out, being flexible, because that's what camp is. We have a saying that the camp job, it's the hardest job you're ever going to love. So you are going to work hard. This isn't one where you're just going to get a tan, which you will, but you're going to work for that tan. And it's long days. It's exhausting, and it's a full summer. But the friends that you make from it, like our staff, they become a unit and a community. And then I always say, just buy a one-way ticket here, because afterwards you're going to want to visit all of your friends as you head home to wherever that is.
Or never leave,
summer.
like producer Patrick.
Yeah, or never leave.
Yeah, no,
I go home.
Producer Patrick. He's
I
here
mean,
to stay.
on top of everything they said, there's a lot of things to gain from working at a summer camp. But I think just the amount of fun and just the amount of stuff you're gonna do, it's hard to get that experience anywhere else at that age. When you finish high school and when you're in college, that summer, you could go get an internship and kind of get your foot in the door somewhere, but you're not gonna go snorkeling every day. You're not going to go on a high ropes course every day. You're not going to get to go play with kids at night with really big microscopes and like look at planets and snorkel and see fish and learn about fish and collect fish. I mean, it's just the amount of things that we do and that you as staff members get to do it's hard to describe and explain to people, and it is so much fun. Like, it is the most fun I think I would argue you could ever have. And I say that because I was a counselor. Paul was a counselor, and I've had lots of different jobs throughout college. Even after college, thought I was going to do something else, and a lot of things were great, but like the most rewarding and fun I've ever had is working at summer camp.
We say the dirty little secret about summer camp is that the staff get more out of it than the campers do. I probably shouldn't be saying this where we're talking to parents, but our staff truly gets so much out of working.
Yeah.
And I'm having been around for as long as I've been around, I get to talk to people who worked in the 1980s. I get to talk to people who worked in the 1990s, and they do share how those formative years on the staff of a summer camp truly affected them in a way that still affects them today. And has, made them who they are. And,
I think it's a test, like, even for you parents who hear that saying, like, even staff sometimes get more out of it than kids, that should be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think you want to send your child to a camp where it is fostering such a wonderful environment for friendship and relationships and just an amazing place to work and grow as a human. Like, it's a great place to send your kid. I mean, you're putting your child in a really wonderful place.
You want your child's counselor to wake up happy to be where they are versus, man, I gotta get up today. No, it's like, I'm jumping in the ocean. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at a planet or shoot off rockets.
Make a bottle of rockets and shoot it off in the field.
Let's
talk
talk
like
like
this.
this.
Water.
Let's talk like this the rest of the time.
I think one of my favorite quotes that I hear staff say is like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this right now. And there are going to be moments, we want to be honest, like there will be moments that are hard where you're going to be
brutal.
like, wow, I
might cry.
Yeah, I might need a minute to like regroup because this is an overstimulated environment.
For real.
And I need to decompress. And then in the same day, you can be like, wow, I've never gotten to do this before. Mm-hmm. I will be honest, when I started at Astrocamp, I saw Saturn and I cried. It was so beautiful.
That's really sweet.
It was really beautiful.
That's really
and I was
wholesome.
like, I've never seen this before. And it was so cool. And I think that's what I get as a director. And I know you two both feel this as well. Like, you get moments of pride as directors when you see your staff helping this like homesick camper through, and they don't need your help because they've got it. And they're like, you're so proud of the things that they get to experience and accomplish and enjoy, and it creates this beautiful moment.
So whether you're sending your camper or you want to apply, the staff at our programs are phenomenal and wonderful, and we really put a lot of time and energy into making sure that we are curating the perfect summer camp environment through staff.
Yes.
Should we tell them like where they can find out about it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, first off, there's producer Patrick just put the email right back up here, or the website.
Email?
There's
website?
an email and a website. Look at it.
Yeah. So cool. What's great is that we have one spot where you can see all of the available jobs.
Yeah.
But if you go to either Astrocamp,
there's a ghost
website, or you go to Catalina Sea Camp website. Should I start over on that one?
No, it's okay.
That was fun. We're all about fun.
Our websites have links. Astrocamp's website has links. And then when you're applying to Sea Camp, if you're thinking about it, Paul's program is the 3-week program. You're working with majority like high school, older kids. Yeah. And then my program is the Fox program. We're working with like elementary, middle school aged kids. So there's a little bit of an age difference in the programs, but it's all on the website.
It's all on the website.
And we'll put the links up.
Yeah.
It's also on our Instagrams. If you go onto the Instagram, our links are on the Instagrams. And you can also email us.
Yeah.
So.
It's super, like, if you have any questions, a lot of times people are nervous about filling out a full application. I'm not sure I know. Yeah. Like, that seems like a lot of work. ask us your questions.
We want to help you.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So apply or send this to some people and have some people apply. We are hiring right now. We're looking for friends and people to work.
Hey, this has been
time.
the Catalina Sea Camp and Astrocamp breakdown. Thank you for
Breakdown.
watching.
Woohoo.
Yeah, thank you, producer Patrick.
Woo! And cut.